Now, you might have come across a businessman or a Hollywood star on the Forbes Rich List, but did you know that Forbes once declared a drug lord the world's richest man back in 1989? It was none other than Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine, who amassed $30 billion back then, which is the equivalent to $60 billion in today's value. Hello, and welcome back to our channel, Strive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Born in Antioquia, Colombia, Escobar's life already began in a drug-riddled country in 1949. Though he was lucky enough to be born in a pretty decent family, where his father was a farmer while his mother was a school teacher, he still ended up stealing and selling tombstones at a very young age. This smuggling, later on, led to stealing cars and even performing a kidnapping once. From that moment on, Escobar never looked back and he elevated to the next level, cocaine trading in 1970. Often, Escobar used to claim that he would become a millionaire by the time he turned 22, and boy oh boy did he ever keep his word. The moment Escobar was a teenager, beginning on the streets of Medellin. During this stint was when Escobar got caught with his shipment of cocaine to Ecuador and was arrested. This was the period when he got introduced to his signature move, plata o plomo, meaning silver or lead. Confused? Why would anyone choose lead over silver? Well, nobody should, because that means you either accept his bribe or face his lead bullets. On this occasion, though, he failed to bribe the judge. He did manage, though, to get his charges dropped when he bribed the arresting officers. That was the last time any judge ever defied him, because later on he claimed the lives of about 200 judges, several journalists, an attorney general, a justice minister, thousands of cops, and even 3 Colombian presidential candidates. This was just the beginning, as by the 1980s, Escobar controlled over 80% of the cocaine traffic that was smuggled into the U.S. With about 70 to 80 tons of cocaine moved into the country in 1 month, Escobar made about $420 million in a week. No wonder he was so damn rich, as his annual earnings amounted to about $30 billion a year, which also included the couple of billion he lost in the process. Surprisingly, about 10% of his loss was not due to any humans, as none dared to ever go against him, but in fact it was due to rats. Yes, the spoilage and the large bulk of the bills that was consumed by rats was the only loss that he had ever happened to occur in his lifetime. Remember, lead or silver? It really began a level of fear beyond imagination. He had so much cash that he had to spend about $2,500 just for rubber bands in order to tie up his cash. Escobar regularly made the list of international billionaires from 1987 until 1993, so the Forbes declaration in 1989 wasn't a big surprise. Before we move on with this video, we'd like to thank you for all your continuous encouragement and support on our channel. Your unwavering love motivates us to create more content and deliver it to you as soon as possible. If you want to see more of our entertaining content, make sure to smash that subscribe button on our channel. Also, turn on your notification bell to receive all the latest updates about our channel and fresh videos. Now, let us continue with the video. A peek in Escobar's lifestyle would catch you off guard, because he not only bought a 7.7 square mile estate with a go-kart track and a private airport, but he also had an actual zoo. Yes, a real one, with giraffes, lions, elephants, and hippos. Without any doubt, this place held exotic parties for Colombia's most powerful people. And yes, of course, it was fueled with cocaine and many other drugs. Nicknamed Don Pablo, or El Patron, Escobar had a good side to him as well. He was the Robin Hood of the Colombian citizens. Yes, he had a horrific business that claimed the lives of many, but still, he ended up giving away most of his money to churches, hospitals, charities like food banks, and even to build parks and soccer stadiums. A drug kingpin who had a rich but meaningful lifestyle as well. However, his atrocities grew day by day and caught the full attention of the government, as well as of the world, when he got himself elected to Colombia's Congress in 1982. He lasted just 2 years because Minister of Justice Rodrigo Lara Bonilla got him removed from Congress, the bold move of a minister who is no more now. Did Escobar at least stop after that stint? No. As in a desperate attempt to kill presidential candidate Cesar Trujillo, he ended up killing 110 people by bombing the airliner in which his target traveled. Fortunately, Trujillo survived, but this was the moment when the authorities started going after him. It was a pretty serious business. The world took notice of this notorious drug kingpin, and the world wanted to know what kind of action the Colombian government was taking in order to capture the dreaded criminal. Finally, in 1991, Escobar decided to surrender, but made a deal way ahead with the Colombian authorities. The deal was that he should be sent to La Catedral prison, a place he helped to design and build. Nobody in the right mind would call it a prison, as it had a soccer field, a jacuzzi, a bar, and what's more, even a waterfall. Nothing changed after his arrest, as he continued to run his operations from Club Medellin, which in actuality was a detention center. He chose his own guards, ran the drug dealing business, and still earned millions. One fine day, the authorities could take it no longer, so planned to move him to a real prison. It was a bad move as he got wind of it and immediately escaped and went into hiding with his family. Did you know during this escapade, he burnt $2 million in cash just to keep his beloved daughter warm from the harsh winds that blew into the cave they hid in? While Escobar stayed in the lion's den, literally, the authorities formed a special Colombian task force called Search Block. They had 3 different special operations units in the National Police of Colombia. All of them searched for Escobar high and low until in 1993 when they found him living right in the middle of Medellin in a typical middle-class home. The surveillance team was able to intercept his telephone call to his son Juan Pablo, and that is when they confirmed Escobar's location to be the Los Olivos barrio in his hometown of Medellin. Escobar and his bodyguard Alvaro de Jose Agudelo realized that the authorities are closing in, so they immediately took to the rooftops to escape down a side street. Sounds so much like a thrilling movie, but unfortunately, such escapades happen rarely. Both of them were shot down even before they could make it to the roof. Weren't you waiting with bated breath for a movie-like fight scene and a climax? We were too. Though the Search Block proudly claimed their fatal shot through the ear after a couple of shots to the leg and torso was what killed Pablo Escobar, but still, Pablo's family claims today that Pablo would never let anyone capture him. So rather, their stingent belief is that the notorious drug kingpin killed himself, as Escobar always told his family that if all the authorities came after him, he would rather shoot himself through the ear. We may never know whose bullet really killed this king of cocaine, as the only person who knows the truth is dead, and has been so for 30 years. Whichever may be the truth, as the authorities celebrated, it is in fact Viva Colombia. There was no more of a Medellin cartel after the killing of Pablo Escobar. The Search Block gave poses next to the remains of Escobar's body with real big smiles. Later on, it was revealed that Los Peps, a group of vigilantes who were wronged by Escobar, were the ones responsible for the events that led to the death of Escobar. They had already tried their attempts to kill Pablo through bomb attacks and other operations, but all in vain. So they ended up following Escobar closely to update the kingpin's whereabouts to the Colombian National Police, and finally enacted their revenge through them. Though a ruthless cocaine baron, he was still buried in the presence of thousands of mourners in a muddy hilltop cemetery, as he had a good heart to help out many of the poor residents of Medellin's shanty towns. Did you know this fearless Pablo Escobar had a secret fear? Yes, his greatest fear was extradition. He always preferred to die and be buried in a grave in Colombia than rot in a cell in the United States. These were not mere words of fear, but he tried so hard to change Colombia's laws of extradition by paying the entire debt of the country in one go, $10 billion. Though unfortunately, such a plan failed terribly. Still, he managed to avoid extradition and rather gave up his life. The lead that took so many lives took his as well. How do you see him? A Robin Hood who supported the downtrodden community, or a drug kingpin who took the lives of many? Either way, it is the end of an era. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit us with a like, shoot us with your comments, and punch us with your subscribe.